When I'm walking down the street.
I do want to say to Doni and many of you in this room that over a very long career in this city, all of you have helped me and my colleagues tell the truth and to try to tell.
I may not look like you and you me, but
my head up.
I'm from South Carolina, so I just
What does this event mean to you, Miss Peggy Morris?
Oh, my heart.
Happy 20th anniversary.
My heart is about loving up on my sisters. Do you know what it feels like to have your sisters in the room? Johnny.
and dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. I am beautiful, I am blessed, but not just what you see in the flesh. I'm free from people, free from myself. There's a
the doctor lived next door to the janitor, to the reverend, and the lawyer. We were together. Now we get so high and mighty that you create stress for your society because you don't like poor black folks either. That's a health problem. Get yourself together so I can stop being taking care of geriatric people and get back to pediatrics. I thank you, Doni, for all you've done. Let's keep doing it all and more.
letting His glory shine through. Dare to be you, dare to be me, dare to be different and unique. I'm gonna be the best me I can be by letting His glory shine through. And I dare you, I dare you, I dare you to be you.
First name's Doni, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. This is hump day, halfway through the week. Lord, thank you. Little nippy out here today. Little nippy, but we're going to do it. We got our guest today, Mr. Ervin Bernard Reid. He's rich. You know what rich mean? Got my tea today. Backed up off the coffee. Rich is raised in Cherry Hill. I was hanging out with another Cherry Hill cat last night, LaRon Finney. They helped put together a nice event for Dr. Tyrone Taborn, who's heavy in the STEM. What a lot of people don't know, and what I was implored to remind the audience, is that Ervin Bernard Reid is into STEM.
Yeah.
Specifically, a mathematician.
Yep. Love those numbers, Don. Got to have those numbers now. You got to know your numbers.
So you know the quadratic equation.
Yeah, used to know all that. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Well, I'm a poly man. We never forget it. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. I had to go to summer school for that, buddy.
Okay, cool.
I will never forget that formula.
My man. The news before the news. Emmy-nominated. My man.
Emmy-nominated.
Yep.
Ervin, we just doing what we love to do, just like you, man.
Yeah, just living life, man. That's all we can do, right? Try to make a difference where we can. Yeah.
I have so many questions for you.
Okay.
One, I got to get your thoughts on Joe Biden.
Okay. Joe Biden. I think all in all, I think he's done a good job based on the ignorance that goes on in the Hill. So I think he's done a good job. I think he's done as well as he could based on getting, working with a party that just basically wants to see him fail. So I don't have a problem. I do believe, though, what he's not done, he's not communicated very well, especially to the Black community who really came out for him heavily. I think he left some promises on the table. And I just think that he and the Democratic Party and a lot of Democrats today are missing the boat on what a lot of people are thinking, what are issues for us. For example, how do you have schools in Baltimore City with no air conditioning, and then you send billions of dollars to Israel and other places, And even though that's really the government because he's federal and all that, but these are just simple things that regular people now are just trying to understand.
Basic meat and potato issues.
That's it. And nobody wants to, everybody want to talk about the Supreme Court. You know, people in Baltimore, people in Prince George's, they worry about the circuit court. You know, well, yeah, I mean, they locking us up, you know, so, you know, but all in all, I think Biden's doing a pretty good job.
What about the border, though? What about the border?
The border
was Trump right?
No, I mean, the border, they don't want to solve the border. People got to understand the Republicans are not working with him. There's nothing, look, a lot of these issues are congressional issues. You know, the money going on, all that, yeah, there's only so much a president can do. And he's put out plans for it, and they won't address the plans. There's nothing this man can do. They don't want to see him succeed. We're in a nation like, what's it?
Are you telling me that we are going to re-elect Trump?
I don't think Trump can get reelected. And I could be wrong.
He just won Iowa.
Yeah, but he's running in the Republican Party. And I just think independents will wake up and say, you know what? He's gone too far. The man's gone. He started an insurrection. He's gone too far.
But half of this country believes he was right.
I think
even though 5 people got killed, several people have been incarcerated. They were smoking cigars up in the speaker's house, in the speaker's office. They were in Nancy Pelosi's office.
Right.
I think somebody smoked a joint.
Doni, we got to understand the type of nation that we live in. We live in a racist nation. We always have. But we, especially we as African Americans, we wanted to believe that everything was fair and equal. And when we
I don't think it's fair and equal. I don't think it ever was fair and equal.
Yeah, but I think a lot of us, all of a sudden are realizing, you know what? Half the population believed the election was stolen. You know, half of these people are going to elect somebody that's truly a racist with racist ideas, not only and that promotes this stuff. And I've been telling people for the last 30 years, dude, we live in a racist nation. Now all of a sudden we get a black president and think we made it. You know, like, well, no, we need to be this thing.
Is that fair, Ervin? Now, Ervin, I gotta challenge you once and for all on that. Do you really think black people were so gullible to think that Barack Obama was going to be able to wave a magic wand across the whole of America and everything was going to change?
No, I think they thought that Barack Obama would do the right thing. For example, how in the hell does a president who started an insurrection grab women behind, through the legs, committed all these crimes, and he hasn't gone to jail, or at least he is being indicted. And yet you're going to have Wall Street take this nation to its knees. We're going to lose half the black wealth in America and nobody gets indicted under his thing. And then he's going to sit here and talk about, he has no say-so to say anything about justice. He's not doing what he was supposed to do. Come on, Doni. You got to show people right and wrong. You can't tell people, look, I mean, my boy doing 20 years, 3 strikes you're out because he had a joint. A nonviolent crime, and these people commit these crimes and they don't get prosecuted under him. Those are the things that he didn't do. I'm not saying he can waive, but you can show people, look, things are going to be fair. And he came out the block and told you that there are 2 justice systems. That's what I'm talking about. Marion Barry ain't do well for everybody, but at least Marion spoke up. He did what he could do.
You knew damn well Barack Obama wasn't no Marion Barry.
But when
they made him denounce Jeremiah Wright, you already saw what it was.
They didn't make him do that. He did that on his own. We got to stop with this. People make you do stuff.
They put the pressure on him. Distance yourself from Jeremiah Wright.
Right, but that's his decision, Doni. That's his decision.
Nobody expected him to be no Malcolm X.
I don't expect, but I expect him to prosecute those people that need to be prosecuted. Is that asking too much to try to make
Man,
it?
he ain't grow up where we grew up, man.
Well, Donnie, what the hell that got to do with something? But we got people. But see, we got to start to understand.
Would you expect a cat from Owens Mills to survive in Cherry Hill?
No, but I do expect if he gets there.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Donnie, so what you're saying is
you knew he wasn't of that ilk.
Well, then why did you vote for him then, Donnie?
Like everybody else, because he was going to be the first black president.
Okay, after he became, why'd you vote for him the second time?
Because they didn't kill him the first time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but that's the
problem. And that was progress. I just prayed that they didn't kill the man.
No progress, Donnie. It is not progress.
It is progress. Let me tell you how. Okay. Because for 8 years, you had a visual of a black nuclear family, a husband, a wife, and 2 biological children that they both made. Now, how often do you see that in the black community where we have 70% single mothers?
Okay, yeah, tell that to
the visual alone was psychologically something that we could focus on that was better than what we've seen for the past 450 years.
Yep, and that's why them kids in D.C. that are carjacking and doing all that, because they really were impressed. Yeah, that's why when, your school systems are passing people along, they can't read, we really impressed. No, Donnie, the bottom line is the bottom line. The bottom line is do the right thing and show people. Don't tell them. This judicial system has been killing us all since slavery. Yeah, and he had an opportunity to do the right thing, to show people that we have one justice system. He came out and showed we don't. Rich people, white people over here going to be under, we're not going to prosecute them, even though they stole billions of dollars. Billions. People lost their homes. People committed suicide. And nobody gets indicted. Come on, Donnie. And then you're going to sit here and talk about justice? No, there is no justice. So why do I believe that I should vote?
So what's stopping you from moving to Africa?
Who, me? Oh, why I want to go to Africa? This is my home. You acting, Donnie. You acting like I got a problem. I don't have a problem with Obama. I know who he is. But I got a problem with people with Martin Luther King says something about, and I can't remember the quote exactly, but he said he wasn't afraid of the Klan and white supremacists. It was America, those individuals who've gotten comfortable in America. That's who he feared, and that's who I fear. Man, I don't care about Donald Trump, white supremacists, and all of that. We got enough people in enough positions to do the right thing for us.
We got comfortable with integration.
Okay, but
that's when it all happened. It happened before Barack Obama. We got comfortable with integration. We got comfortable leaving our communities, whether it was Southeast DC, and we moved to Bowie or Upper Marlboro, or whether it was we left West Baltimore and moved to Randallstown, Owens Mills, Woodlawn. We left our communities, and now white people are moving into what we used to own, and they're walking their dogs on the campus of Howard University.
Yep. But you know what also has happened, Donnie? You know the Wizards moving out, Wizards, Mystics, and the Capitals, right?
Really?
Yeah, upscale restaurants are moving out. They're saying they can't, they're tired of the killing. They're tired of the homelessness. It's on the streets. It's just like San Francisco. San Francisco's a ghost. Look.
San Francisco worse than DC.
Yeah, not much. I don't
know. I saw homelessness on the West Coast at a level I've never seen it on the East Coast, primarily because it's cold over here, and you ain't going to be sleeping on that concrete out there with them rats, because them rats going to eat you.
No, what DC does extremely well, and I give the current mayor and mayors before him, is DC takes care of the homeless probably better than any other city. But DC has a built-in cushion in that it's recession-proof because it has the federal government. But Donnie, I'm telling you, I live in DC. I'm telling you now, everywhere you walk, you smell marijuana. I'm telling you, your Wizards just ain't moving out of DC. Yeah, because they're tired of the crime. Dude, these cats are jacking. And yeah, they don't have any fear, Donnie. These ain't the gangsters that we grew up with. Yeah, we had role models and all of that. So these kids, man, I'm telling you, it's all over DC. Yeah, and just like Baltimore, just like in major cities, these cats aren't scared. It's a different mentality, that we're dealing with.
So we have a new governor here in the state of Maryland.
Yeah,
Westmore.
my man. Yeah,
and he's married to Don Flythemore.
Yeah, I've known Don for a long time, and Don is probably one of the most humble people I've ever met in my life. And she still is.
Don't get it twisted. Don is a gladiator.
Oh no, Don has been out there in the game, but Don is a humble person. I've known Don for 30 years.
She was in the Maryland political game before Westmore.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of like Coretta Scott King was in the civil rights movement before Dr. King.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. Coretta put MLK on.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Morehouse man, right?
Oh, yeah. And you're a history man. That's why I like talking to you, every time you and I talk, Donnie, as soon as we hang up, I go pull my pad out and start writing down your stuff. So, I try not to say it around you, but a lot of people have heard your stuff thinking it's mine. But anyway.
Well, we edify each other. One of the stories I love hearing from you, well, actually two. One is Perrin Mitchell, and then the second one, of course, is Wayne Curry. Because Wayne Curry, Marion Barry, they were of that ilk that one that came to the game with skills.
Right.
A lot of times we see black politicians come to the game, and the only skills they have are those that they have garnered since being in the political game.
That's true.
So
good point.
Compared to their counterparts, one could say that they are short.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Wayne Curry was a lawyer.
Right. Development lawyer at that. Yeah. And Prince George has all this land.
Self-sufficient.
Right.
Wasn't impressed with money. And that's what I like about Westmore. He got his own money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Larry Hogan. He came to the game with his own money.
Yeah.
Like Jay-Z in the music industry. Came with his own money and was less likely to be pimped, to be exploited.
Yeah.
And a lot of times our politicians, they get hemmed up for 15 grand, 35 grand.
Right. Yeah.
You catch me locked up for 15 grand. I want you personally to hang foot in my ass. I want you personally come over to the bookers and pimp slap me, you dumb son of a...
But Donnie, the other problem that we have, especially in our community, is we don't have enough Donnie Glovers, shows like yours, and we don't have our own media anymore, man. And I think people are now realizing that the MSNBCs and the CNNs is really entertainment more than it is news, and they're feeding us what they want us to know. And with individuals like yourself and Karen Hunter and others, y'all are telling it. Y'all are talking about the stuff nobody really wants to talk about, but we need to hear. And so that's one of our biggest problems is that, a lot of people don't know what's going on with our elected officials or how it really works. So,
a topic came up last night, Tim Adams. Man, the potential in a Tim Adams, the potential, if he had the right formula, if he had the right ingredients around him earlier, man, he could be wherever he wanted or wants to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had his own money, understood business, had business acumen, had some political pedigree. But invariably, I see Prince George's politicians fail when they try to go statewide because they underestimate or miscalculate the power of Baltimore. I saw it with Senator Muse. I saw it with Donna Edwards. I'm seeing it with Angela. They don't get Baltimore. I know Prince George's got more people, got more money, but dude, Baltimore been in the game longer. We put PG on, with all due respect.
Right.
It was the elders that put Tommy Broadwater on, encouraged them, and it was a camaraderie. It's kind of like we done forgot who we are.
I remember when we were doing Wayne Curry's campaign, and everybody kept saying, you know, we ran a whole new different thing, you know, with Larry Gibson. And, you know, people, man, you need to take that Baltimore stuff back to Baltimore. That nonsense ain't gonna work down here. Okay. And guess what? He became county exec with that Baltimore stuff. Yeah, because Baltimore, you know, we've been campaigning, running real campaigns for a long time. They're still not running real campaigns down here for the most part. Yeah, but no, I agree. You got to understand the state. Yeah, and yeah, no, I agree.
I think back to when Wayne Curry, you have told me this story many times. Wayne Curry and Kurt Schmoke, they what's the word I'm looking for?
Refused to endorse Glendenning, that story? Yeah. When Glendenning was running for re-election, they refused to endorse him until they sat down with him and talked about education and what the state, a rich state like Maryland, because we're not Mississippi, we're not Louisiana, we have the resources to do what we need to improve Baltimore and Prince George's. And until they could sit down with him, put together a plan, have a press conference so he can't say, you know, and then they will endorse. But unfortunately, our good Democratic President Bill Clinton threatened some of their federal funding. So then they had to do the right thing.
Not Bill Clinton, the friend of black people, the first black president who smoked the joint, got oral sex in the Oval Office. Not Bill Clinton.
Yeah, not Bill Clinton.
See, we more married to the Democratic Party than we are to Jesus the Christ. When it comes to Democrat, we are so caught up on that Democrat thing, and I'm not at all pushing the Republican Party, but I'm just saying how they done pimp that politics thing on us, something vicious.
Right.
I remember when Anthony Brown was running for governor, they put signs up Liberty Heights and said, vote for the Democrats. That's what you're going to tell educated black people. That's it. That's the message. That was like some Juneteenth stuff.
Now, that wasn't Anthony Brown's campaign as much as it was. That was a totally separate campaign, a Democrat campaign. That actually was run. Yeah, that was run by Gibson. That was his campaign. Yeah, if you look at the authority line on those signs, yeah, it was different. Yeah. But
I love Larry Gibson, but I still see the progress that was made in Baltimore as a result of Ehrlich and Hogan.
Right. Yeah.
Because too often the Democratic Party in Maryland, a 2-1 Democratic state, negates the power, the ability, the potential of the black community. I think of Marianne Lasanti from Harford County. She's the one that called Prince George's County the nigger district, and she's still in office.
Yeah,
or at least she was. Marianne Lasanti.
Yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah.
This is my fellow Democrat. Have you seen Harford County?
Now, we do have some, let me make sure I'll say this, though. We do have some really good elected officials, though. And I'm proud of a lot of the youngins that we have coming up. They're coming in with a totally different attitude, especially in Prince George's. They don't really have the legacy of the old stuff and how it ran. And so they're coming in differently. Yep. So that's the hope that I see. I don't have a lot of hope, but that is the hope I do see.
But we have to embrace them.
True.
What's going to happen with Angela Alsobrooks? Does she stand a chance against David Trone? I mean, he's got, he's filthy rich. Typical otherwise. I mean, they go and get Jesse Jackson's son to do a commercial, and it's like, I don't know how relevant that is to Maryland.
Me neither.
It always baffles me when Democrats who are not from the community that we are from, they go and get who they think we look up to.
Right.
It's like, for real? Clearly, you don't have any black advisors on your team who know Baltimore. You gonna get Jesse Jackson Jr.?
Right.
I mean, no disrespect, dude. I don't even know what you look like. If you walk down the street, I wouldn't know you. You've been better off getting out shopped into somebody. Why do they always do that? Anthony Brown. When Anthony Brown, and I ain't picking on Anthony Brown, but when he ran for governor, he went and got
you sound like you're picking on him, Donnie.
He went and got some out-of-town white boys to come here to Baltimore and to tell Baltimore people what to do to campaign for Anthony Brown. I'll never forget it. It was laughable. But he finally caught the picture, and that's why he ended up winning Attorney General. But he made some faux pas, man. I mean, you've seen it before.
Oh yeah. No, Anthony's a good dude. He, you know how it is, Donnie. People.
No, how is it?
People bring in people with resumes and not necessarily understanding how things really work. And in Maryland is different. Prince George's is different. Prince George's is an easy place to win if you do a few things, but you got to know what those few things are.
But y'all got y'all perennial candidates down there too.
We do. But it's changing, Donnie. It's changing in Prince George's County. First and foremost, you have this African community. And man, you talk about an organized community. These people have an agenda, and they're well financed, they're well organized, and that movement is happening. And then of course you have these young progressives, and they're well organized, and yeah. So it's Prince George's. It's interesting. It's not what it was. Yeah, it's almost like the Middle East. Who's really in charge? Yep. So there's no, we had a political boss for 40, 50 years, and now we don't. So a lot of people don't know what to do or how to do what they need to do.
How is life after Mike Miller?
It's politically, I mean, we're getting people in office. It's still too early to see. I mean, we have this. This would be really Wes Moore's first real session where you had a year to think and put together things and things like that. So I think after this session,
much on these TV interviews, he didn't cut all that smiling down, way down.
Tough job, man. Look, being in office is tough. Something I would never do. Never wanted to run for office.
I've watched our mayor, Brandon Scott. I've watched him evolve over the past 3 years.
Okay.
I've watched him seriously evolve. I was in his presence last night at Dr. Taborn's Welcome Bay back to Baltimore reception down at the Reginald Lewis Museum.
Okay.
And you can see the evolution of Brandon Scott.
Tough job. Baltimore mayor.
I think Baltimore mayor is tougher than being Maryland governor.
Oh, I do too. One of the toughest jobs in the country. Yeah.
Gangster.
Yeah.
He is amazingly pro-black.
Is he?
Amazingly pro-black.
Okay.
Unapologetically. Might as well put a plug in for my 2 books.
There we go.
Available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Ervin, when you coming out with the book, man? Because you'd have been in political races for the past 35 years?
Yeah, 86 was my first campaign. in Baltimore, young man by the name of Talmadge Branch.
37 years.
Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking about it, Donnie. I'm thinking about it in a different way. But you know, just talk about my experience, the things I've seen, what molded me.
28 years. Yeah. What would you write about?
I would write about Wayne Currier and how we did what we were able to do, and how after Wayne, what has taken place, especially a lot of people don't understand. They think they do, especially the young folk. When I talk to them, well, I heard Wayne. No, that's not who Wayne was. Wayne is totally different than what most people think he was. You know, Wayne was a country boy, man. That man loved woodworking. That man would build cabinets and things like that. He wasn't a guy hanging out doing this, that, and the other. So he was brilliant. He was always reading. Every time I'm with him in the car, we're driving, you know, someplace, and he's got his head in the book. Yeah, he's either reading about, something with legislation. He's reading something, or he's reading a book, a novel or something. His vocabulary was just unreal. And Wayne was, the man loved to debate. That brother loved a good fight. When he did that stadium deal with Jack Kent Cooke, I think that was one of the best times of his life, because they were going back and forth. And Jack Kent Cooke had the vocabulary of the Webster Dictionary. And the two of them would fight. He loved it. He loved sparring with folk. And that's the thing that separated him from a lot of folk. I remember every session, Wayne was like, Ervin, yep, time to go to Annapolis and get Prince George's share of the money. And some of Baltimore's, and some of Montgomery's, and some of Anne Arundel. Wayne was he walked into the game to get everything, to take it over. So he was never he was never about being fair. He was about doing the best thing for Prince George's County. And I remember this brother said to Wayne one day, Wayne, ain't it a damn shame that, you know, being black, we got to work harder and, you know, and be twice as smart just to get the same pay? And Wayne said, well, you a damn fool if you working twice as hard and does that. Nah, that ain't my attitude, Hoss. Yeah, I'm going to the door to get more than everybody else. So that was his mentality. And so, and he lived that way.
Ervin, over the years, one of the institutions I've come to know that you are very fond of, but very critical of, is Bowie State.
Yeah, my alma mater. Yeah, Bowie is unique. First of all, it sits in what at one time was, for years, the richest black jurisdiction in America. But yet it was always disconnected. Until this current president, Dr. Bro, has got there, Bowie really was on an island in Prince George's, never really did much with the government and all of that. But Dr. Bro has changed a lot of that. Bowie is, unlike Coppin or Morgan or Howard.
It is the oldest HBCU in the state of Maryland. And it started in Baltimore, I understand.
Started in Baltimore, not too far from you. I think right off of Pennsylvania Avenue, or one of those, Fulton or one of those, yeah. But Bowie, number one, we're right outside of the nation's capital. So we're we sit right here 30 minutes from the heart of power in the world. We've never really tried to tap that. Steny Hoyer represents Bowie. And at one point, Steny was 3 steps away from being president. So we had one of the most powerful congressional reps that we never took advantage of. We have all of this land, hundreds of acres around Bowie, that we've never taken advantage of that. One of the founders of Google went to Eleanor Roosevelt High School, which is about 15, 20 minutes from Bowie. And he went to the University of Maryland, where his parents still work. So we had a connection to Google, especially if you got Steny involved. And then we have a MARC train station on our campus, or right outside, and meaning that we're 15 minutes from an international airport. We're surrounded by wealth. We've got political connections. Obama's been on the campus twice. His wife was a keynote speaker. We got all of these things working with us, and we never took advantage of that. So there's no vision there, and there's a fear. And then we are tied into this university system, which doesn't really work for us.
Now I'm looking over at my bookshelf. I'm thinking of the book that Dr. Wilbert Wilson wrote, The Power That Never Came.
The Power That Never Came. Yeah, Dr.
About
Wilson.
Prince George's County, and much of what you're referring to at this point of, I won't say wasted potential, but untapped potential.
No, Donnie, Bowie, we had a president, and unfortunately his name was Dr. Lowe. Dr. Lowe brought a supercomputer to Bowie maybe about 12, 15 years ago. That's never been turned on. We one of the few schools, not HBCUs, few schools in the nation that had a supercomputer.
Why wasn't it turned on?
Because when he left, Dr. Lowe was a physicist. So he saw the potential, the value of this computer. And whereas the next president that came in, Dr. Burnham, didn't see it. So since he didn't see it, he didn't really do anything with it. David Byrd, who was a deputy administrator in the Jab Johnson administration, who was county exec at the time, Dave got, I think it was Motorola and a couple of
Dave Byrd, who was on the show yesterday.
Oh yeah, Dave Byrd. He
the
met
same
with
Dave Byrd.
Yep, yeah. Dave Byrd got with these major corporations and the government to meet with Bowie to talk about using that supercomputer and making that an economic engine where these kids at Bowie would then have access and work with this. He was putting together this vision, this thing, how we take this thing and make money for the community and teach students. That never happened. People want to, be unreal. Look, I have a degree in math. They didn't have computer science back then. If they did, I would have a degree in computer science. But I taught computer science at Bowie State. I was a programmer, Fortran programmer with the National Weather Service while I was in school.
I ain't heard that in a decade.
Yeah. But what I didn't have was hardware training. And that's what you get at these major schools. You got hardware and software. And once you understand how it works, that makes you even better. That's where you can go to Silicon Valley and do things. We had an opportunity at Bowie to do that, and we didn't do that. But the final straw was when they moved our graduation, the oldest Black school in the state of Maryland, I think the third or fourth oldest in the country, our graduation to the University of Maryland College Park, the most racist institution on the East Coast.
How demeaning was that to you?
To me, that was just totally demeaning. And I'm going to tell you why, because we have alumni who could not attend the University of Maryland, still living. This wasn't that long ago, Donnie. You couldn't, if you wanted to go to Maryland, they would give you a free scholarship to NYU and others. You could go there free. They didn't want you there. Okay, well, we'll give you this for free. You go there for free. And yet we're gonna, and Donnie, we had to pay. We were paying like $225,000 to use their facility. That money could go to students for books and things like that. So no, I can't participate in that, man. I don't want to be a part of that. And the alumni is what I got a problem with. I don't have a problem with Bowie. I got a problem with the alumni. That's our school. And we wouldn't stand up for it. So I'm not a go back to homecoming and party person. And I was a student body president there. So I have a different relationship, especially politically. And so I understood the politics of the state and all of that. So yeah, that's my problem with Bowie.
Will it change?
No. Not until alumni change.
So you mean I can go right now and apply to University of Maryland for my PhD, and they would refer me to NYU with a full scholarship?
No, that was back in the day. Not now. That was when it was before. I think it was, who was the first person to take classes at the University of Maryland, right?
It was Mitchell. It was Mitchell, wasn't it?
Perrin Mitchell, yeah. Now, he wasn't the first Black enrolled. You could enroll, but you couldn't take classes on campus. So he sued, and then, that's why they had a building named after, I think, the social studies, whatever it is, the Perrin Mitchell building. But no, I'm not. I don't want to be a part of that, Donnie. I just don't. Yeah, dude, if we ain't gonna stand up for Bowie State and make it the best that it can be, then why I want to be a part?
Does racism bother you, Ervin?
What bothers me is black folk acting like racism going away. What bothers them? No, it doesn't bother me. We know what it. Yeah, we look. I love the thing I love about Jewish folk. Jewish folk understand something that you ain't never heard them argue about education. You know why? They don't want you to educate their kids. Like, no, y'all history gonna be a little different than our history. We're gonna do our own. And until we as African Americans understand that God bless the child that's got his own, so no, we're gonna always have racist people.
Yeah, you say that. We sing that song, but once we moved to Randallstown, Owens Mills, we turned our backs on the community. We no longer want to be a part of Sandtown, of East Baltimore. We looked down our nose. The man said at the beginning of the show, we don't want to be around poor black people.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, here in the hood now, we got poor white people. We got poor white addicts in the alley, shooting dope, trying to break into a vacant.
Right.
That's the reality.
But
then
that's
you
what
also got white people who have moved and bought houses in the community.
Right.
But very few. Matter of fact, we got our first Latino family down the street.
Okay. Yeah. So that bothers me, but racism doesn't bother me. I mean, it's unfortunate that, I look at, Prince George's County, man, look, Miller was, we had the power. If we don't use it, that's someone else. I'm going to get mad at somebody that going to maintain power or look after their own.
Now that Miller is gone, what should we be doing? Because he had his foot on black folks' throats. He and O'Malley. I remember when Kwesi was running for Senate, 2006, and they treated that man like a water boy.
Right.
They treated our legend, our icon. They treated him like he was a nobody. Mike Miller, Martin O'Malley. They wouldn't let him speak in Annapolis. They wouldn't endorse him.
Right.
These are the same white boys that were running the Democratic Party, who had all of this say so, but they treated Kwesi like a stepchild, an unwanted stepchild.
Do you think they would have treated Perrin Mitchell like that?
I don't think Perrin Mitchell would have allowed them to have treated him like that.
Bingo. Yeah, I mean,
I think Perrin would have fought with everything in him to not allow that.
And that's the point, Donnie, that I can tell you now, they weren't going to treat Wayne Curry that way. I can tell you that now, because Wayne was going to treat you back. Yeah, so that's the thing. But like you said, Wayne came with his own. I mean, it was like, white boys cut his money off at one point when he was running. And guess what? The brothers stepped up. The brothers and the sisters stepped up, and this campaign kept going. So, no, I mean, this, like Wayne Curry used to say, politics, it's a full contact sport. And
a lot of times we go into it and we don't have all the equipment. We ain't got no helmet on. You on the football field with no helmet on, you gonna get your head knocked off. Or you go on there and you don't have no cleats. So you won't have any footing.
Right.
Let alone the money.
Yeah.
No allies, no political godfather, godmother.
And had they treated Perrin that way, Baltimore would have rioted on somebody, man. I remember when Perrin decided to step down, and damn near every yard in Baltimore had a sign that said, "Run, Perrin, run." Just like with Marion, you can say what you think them brothers gonna let people just dog Marion? Wasn't gonna happen, no. It was like, nah, that's our leader.
And that's what kills me when I meet invariably that 1 in 10,000 black person who will say, "Oh, Marion this, Marion that." Shut up.
Right.
You don't understand power. He did no wrong because he looked out for the people. He came there as the jobs man. And very few people know that Marion Barry took a bullet while he was over there in D.C.
Yeah. And the other thing, too.
You know, that's what killed me, them cats that speak out of school and don't even know the facts.
But the other thing that unfortunately doesn't get enough credit is Marion's counsel. They were all pretty much civil rights babies as well. So it wasn't just him. He also had a council that was extremely supportive of Black economics and all of that as well. So yeah, it wasn't just him. You had that count. Even there was a white boy on there, Dave, but he was probably the most pro-Black of them all. So you had people in DC doing what was, what needed to be done.
And Marion made white millionaires as well as Black millionaires.
Yeah, he did. But Marion understood what a lot of people think, that I've got to take from this one to give to that one. No, you can increase. Marion would take a white deal that's a $200 million deal, and the city's got to put in $50 million of the deal, and he'd tell you, I'm going to put in 60, and I'm going to rush it through. I'm going to save you a few more by rushing it through. But let me tell you what's going to happen.
You're going to
hire these people, and he wanted just the job. No, you're going to hire these people. But Marion, like Wayne, understood a development deal. Okay, because when you go with Wayne, when I'm in the room, because I work, I used to work with developers doing community outreach. And man, Wayne, like, well, who's moving the dirt? Who got that contract? That's a $2 million contract, just moving the dirt. So we going in there with jobs. Now, who's buying the dirt? Somebody's buying. So he breaking this deal down and so if you don't understand the deal in the parts, then you're gonna get done every time, Donnie. But he understood, and Marion understood. So Marion, white boys love Marion, because Marion's gonna make sure your job went through fast, so saving you money, making you money, and he gonna add more money. But you're gonna work with these folk, and then they're gonna build up, and eventually they're gonna be the prime. So he had a plan. He wasn't trying to kill nobody or hurt nobody. He was trying to make it fair, and make sure that his community, benefited. And so that's what it's really on. A lot of times we don't have the capacity. So we don't have the capacity, then Wayne, well, they can't afford the bonding. They can't do, $20 million in bonding. You can, so I need you to do the bonding.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to take a moment and share what a young politician needs to know before they get started.
Well, the first thing a young politician needs to know is they need a mentor. Got to have a mentor. If you don't have a mentor, it's too much in the game of politics, and no one knows it all. I mean, this game is so deep. That's number one. Get yourself a mentor, somebody that's been in the game. Second of all, you can't be scared. You got to learn, look, it's a full contact sport. If you make a difference, then you're going to get hit. Because when you talked about racism, to me, status quo is more than racism. Those in power will maintain power. And whether they Black, whether they white, whether they whatever. So I don't think I don't think Mike Miller was racist. A lot of people disagree with me, and he's attacked me on several occasions. I don't think it was racially motivated. It was status quo motivated. So you first, you got to get yourself a mentor. You got to go in, once you're elected, you got to listen. You got to sit back. Don't go in making a lot of moves, this, that, and the other. Sit back your first term, listen, and learn what's going on. And most importantly, this is the most important thing of them all. Understand that politics is the business of making friends and not enemies. Don't, people out here making enemies for no reason at all. It's the business of making friends and not enemies. And then just learn your craft, study the bills, stay in the community, but be a leader. And one of the things that you really need to do, and when Angela was, to me, what made her a great state's attorney was every time something popped up, Angela was on the television explaining, staying in front of it. Stand up. Take the heat if you got to take the heat, but be there for your constituents. Again, just showing up and being there and acting like you care, if you don't care, but acting like you care. And if you do that, you can go a long ways in politics. You're muted, Donnie.
Great advice. You said get a mentor. Don't be scared. And what was the third piece?
The third piece is you got to sit back
and listen
and learn, and then understand that politics is the business of making friends, not enemies. Because, you know, I've talked to people, I don't like that person, I don't like that person, this, that, you know. Dude, this game ain't about liking nobody. This game is about, you know, serving the people. And that's, yeah, we get lost, man. I don't like, no, I'm liking somebody. Yeah, like I said, Mike Miller, man, has come after me, but Mike Miller, it was all in the game of politics. He's never personally come after him. He's cost me a lot of money and all of that, but it wasn't personal. Because he
did call you up, Ervin, and say you ain't. What did he say when he called you up?
He called a friend of mine, and he told that friend, he said, "Look, tell that little bald head bastard I'm an effort." Those were his. So I called him up, and he was like, "Nah, Ervin, you know, yeah, there was a woman by the name of Juanita Miller that was running against him, and we sort of, well, I should say they being Wayne Carey and Larry Gibson." Convinced her that I ain't had nothing to do with it, but he thought I had something to do with it too. So it's like, you know, she can't beat me, but now I got to spend all this money because his base was seniors to make sure people would know it's Mike Miller, not Juanita Miller. And then he couldn't, you know, he had to protect himself. So that gave us more time to go after somebody else. So yeah, but you know, so he knew it, yeah, and but. He respected me, and I had the utmost respect for him. I actually liked Mike, yeah. But again, this thing, it's a game, Donnie. It's a game. Right. Politics is a game. It's like football. Yeah, you're going to take somebody's head off. But
so dude, this young lady right here, Karen Kirk Obayanju, okay. that's Ruth Kirk's daughter.
Oh, is it? The great Ruth Kirk, we should say. A mentor of mine from a distance. Absolutely.
If what you said, that politics is the business of making friends, Ruth Kirk's festival still goes on today. Her summer festival down at down on what is it, Franklin Square. It still goes on today.
Okay. Yeah, now I remember her. That was my
matter of fact. David Trone, Adrian Harpool brought David Trone through there last summer.
Oh, did he? I hear that boy working, man. I hear Trone got everybody working. I still have faith that Angela's gonna do it.
Well, I tell you, you know, it brings it on back to Baltimore. A lot of times, Prince George's don't understand that Baltimore is the media center of the state.
Right? Yeah.
No. Did you know that the guy that owns Fox 45 in Baltimore bought the Baltimore Sun? That was reported yesterday.
Oh, wow. Wow, really?
Smith.
Wow. Oh,
so
wow.
Armstrong Williams is going to have his hands up in the Baltimore Sun now. Now, you know, the guy that owns the Baltimore Banner tried to buy, before the Banner, he tried to buy the Baltimore Sun.
Now, Donnie, do black people respect the Sun?
Hell no.
Okay.
Now, the older blacks understand that it is the paper of record.
Okay.
But this is a new game. Okay. Newspapers are out. Very few people buy newspapers. People get their news online.
Yeah. So Donnie, oh no, your mother was I mean, you said, oh yeah, your mother was real. A lot of the black elected officials from Baltimore. I remember Wayne's chief of staff would say when they would go to Annapolis, and she would always come back and say, "Ervin, I just wish we had them Baltimore people." She said, "Them Baltimore people are fighters." Yeah,
damn right.
Yeah, but no, I learned a lot. The other thing about Baltimore, my first campaign was Talmadge Branch in '86, and we lost when he was ran for the House of Delegates. And you'd have thought I was a superstar free agent because everybody was like, "Hey, Ervin, come, come here, join my." In Prince George's, my first campaign, I lost. Dude, you'd have thought I was a leper or something, man. I had AIDS. People, man, it became ugly, man. Like, nah, and people hate me to this day. You supported it, you didn't. Dude, get over it. Yeah, and even when Wayne won, a lot of our teams.
At least you made a stance. What I don't respect is I got almost cussed. Is a person that criticizes everybody but has never made a stance.
Right.
Has never drawn a line and said they're critical of everything, but have never made a stance, have never supported anyone.
Right.
Those are the sucker ducks that I don't have much respect for.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least you made a stance.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's better than someone that's never made a stance and all they did was run their damn mouth.
Yeah.
Wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight.
So Donnie, what about the mayor's race, man? How's my boy gonna do?
Who's that?
Bob Wallace. We grew up together. He's rich too, raised in Cherry Hill. And I've known Bob, since the 60s, I guess. I guess we were maybe early 70s. Yeah. We went to
I'm
school.
going to tell you what an old head told me. You can't teach what you don't know. You can't rule where you don't go.
Okay.
You got to walk these streets. One thing about Sheila Dixon, she can walk these streets without a bodyguard.
But can she govern well? Damn
right she can govern well.
Okay.
They robbed that woman twice in broad daylight. If anything, they got to get rid of Armstead Jones at the Baltimore City Board of Elections. Back in 2016, there were 1,800 voting irregularities in Baltimore City compared to 200 voting irregularities in the other 23 jurisdictions combined. And that man still has a job. I don't know. Can you make 1,800 mistakes on your job and keep it?
Nah.
I can't. I run a business. If I make 1,800 mistakes, I'm over.
Right.
But this man made 1,800 mistakes under his guidance, under his guise, and still has a job. That's baffling to me. So I don't have much faith in this so-called democratic system because it's full of corruption.
Is it corruption or
damn right it's corruption. It's corruption to the nth degree. Mob City. That's what they call Baltimore. Mob City.
Okay. You don't think it's incompetence with a lot of people?
No, it ain't incompetence. They got paid to turn their head. Just like the cops. Just like Gun Trace Task Force. They out there sticking up drug dealers. Okay. That ain't incompetence. That's a deliberate, intentional act. We're going to get that money. You're going to give me that money. You're going to shut up or you're going to jail.
Okay.
Just like Minority Business Enterprise. We got some good people on it today, but MBE is a joke. It's a game. Why do I got to prove I'm black? I know every time I go out that door, the police pull up behind me. I know I'm black. Why I gotta prove to you I'm black? I mean, it's just retarded.
Right.
You gonna give me the business or you not?
Right.
White boy ain't gotta prove he white. But they act the state, the feds, the locals act as if that's the only way a black man can get business in America. And people say, "Oh, you gotta play the game." Well, like you, Ervin, I don't like playing games. I'm a grown man. Right. And that's why I like the Republicans, because they didn't come with that foolishness, that chicanery, that tomfoolery.
Right.
How much will this cost me, Donnie Glover? The next phone call is, your check is ready. That's business to me. That's sexy to me.
Right. 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 Yeah.
I mean, Angela Alsobrooks, what is her track record on minority business enterprise in one of the richest black jurisdictions in America?
Yeah.
That's a question.
Oh, you're asking me?
We've run out of time.
Yeah, that's something she's gonna have to answer. Yep, I'm not.
We're gonna have to bring you back.
Oh, anytime.
Ervin, we appreciate you. Any final thoughts, babe?
First of all, I would like to thank Karen for staying on and watching us. Hopefully, I will be able to meet you someday. Like I said, your mom's was a trailblazer, like a lot of our elected officials back then who were not afraid. That, allowed me to get here on Doni's show and allowed Doni to have a show. Yeah. But
she was a public servant. She served the people.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
But she worked with at least one cat who was self-service. He was all about his damn self.
Who was that?
I ain't gonna call his name, but the rat bastard knows who he is. He ain't helping. These people would steal Jesus off the cross. Wouldn't help Jesus.
No, Doni, the only thing I have to say is I am getting deeper into STEM now. I told you I'm writing a book about that. Yeah.
When's the book coming out, Ervin?
I'm going to try to get it out by October. And it's about Black women in STEM, handing off passing the baton, because we've had, people that, pass the baton, especially Black women, man. Black women are the most amazing people on planet Earth. And
no doubt, we got our game from a woman, got a name from a woman.
Yeah, it's like, but that whole, what they're doing, especially what they're doing in politics, man. If I walk in the room, Doni, it's all men, I walk out.
You gotta meet this lady. She was my summer school teacher for Poly, Estella Ingram. She was the first woman. My daddy was a funeral director and mortician. She was the first woman I met ever who had done an autopsy. And so I met her in like 85. No. 81. Baltimore City public school teacher, White House advisor, gubernatorial advisor, mayoral advisor, brilliant woman. But she broke down Ohm's law, I = E over R. She broke it down so simple for me. Poly was trying to lose us. They were trying to, that's how I felt. That they were trying to sift us out. It was a tough time. The 2 years at Poly, oh my God. Bob Wallace went to Poly, and I really didn't answer your question, but Bob's got to be in these streets, man. And in the past 3 years, I was looking to see him in these streets a lot more. Who I did see in the streets over the past 3 years was Thiru Vignaraja.
Okay.
He was taking up cases all over the place, not making no money, being involved. And that's how you're supposed to be. If you plan on running again in between the last election and this one, you should be out there making a name for yourself.
Okay.
Not being quieter than a church mouse urinating on cotton. Make some noise. Help somebody. Help some Black businesses. Help Be More News.
Okay, he's helped a lot of folk before.
Who he helped?
I don't know these people. Now I know he hired kids.
Well, I live here. I live here, and I should have an idea of who you've helped if I do media every day since the last damn election. And if you haven't gotten your message over to Be More News or the Afro or WEAA, whose fault is that, Ervin?
No, he's been on your show. I saw him on your show.
Okay. All right.
Right or wrong?
Okay.
Okay.
He ain't no Wayne Carey, brother.
Yeah, he is. Matter of fact, I see him in Wayne. Not only is he Wayne Carey, he's Wayne Carey's first cousin. Bob brings a different type of knowledge to the city that you need. I grew up with the brother. The same brother he was back in Cherry Hill, man. Gangsters love him and nerds loved him. The boy was brilliant because he worked his behind off. And
when the last time you been to Baltimore?
Probably about 2 months ago. Yeah, I still have family there.
Okay. Well,
Karen, I'm gonna try to make it. Yep. Donnie will make sure I get the date.
Oh yeah. Wonderful time all weekend. They had some singers down there, boy. They was singing it up.
Now where is it?
Franklin Square.
Okay.
About 15 blocks south of my house.
Okay. So you can walk.
No, I ain't walking.
Oh, okay.
It's Baltimore. Ain't no walking, baby.
I hear you. Yeah.
Walk. That's like getting pizza delivery in Brooklyn. Ain't happening, baby. Woo, you got jokes. Hey, look, up to date down tomorrow. Do your day and everything will follow. Nothing to it but to do it. I got to do it, regardless of how I feel. We appreciate you, Ervin Reid. I am somebody. I am my brother's keeper. Good morning, world.